Welcome, everybody. This is our monthly numerology meeting for our group. What is numerology? Maria and I are always excited about doing this video for you guys, or even for our YouTube people that watch us on YouTube, which we both have a YouTube channel, and this is put on YouTube and has I always put a pretty fancy name to it, or if anybody's ever Googling like numerology, or I can't remember what I said last time, but anyways, I put all this ideas into a document, and then I put it into AI, and then it gives me all this fancy stuff, and I share it with Maria. Do you usually use what I share with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, the wording is always perfect. So I'm like, that's when I ask you, can I, is it okay if I use your title? Because it is awesome and your blurb.
It's not really
Perfect.
my title. I like put all this, compile what we're talking about, and then put bunch of points and bunch of stuff down and what the subject is, and then all of a sudden it spews out all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's good, because you know what? I can't I couldn't even come up with that. Embarking on this, and the way they talk is like, oh,
Yes,
okay, let's just use that.
excellent.
I laugh every time. So yes, use it, because
Yeah.
it's AI created, really. I'm just using
Well,
what we talk about, and yeah, so fun.
it is lots of fun. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
life
Perfect.
is fun. Yeah.
Well,
So
hello,
even
everyone.
Yeah, even if you are not here and you watch us on YouTube, or you watch us on our What is Numerology um group, then that's great too. So anyways, yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, not at all. I was just saying hi to everybody. And for those of you that will be watching, thank you for joining Laura and I on this, what is numerology, our monthly call. And we are really excited too. And this is actually the topic for this month is actually a really good one. So which is all about missing numbers. And Laura will explain that to you. But I guess we could start with our introductions for those of you that really don't know who we
Yeah,
are. If you want, I could start since I kind
go
of,
ahead. Yeah,
yeah, my
sure.
name is Maria Esposito, and I am the founder and owner of Revolution 9, a wellness training, wholeness, wholeness training, wellness consulting, and company. I am for lack of a better word, a psychic healer. Now, I'm more or less the conduit, but to people's
Sure.
healings. And I'm also a wholeness trainer, and I use the beautiful modalities of numerology, of course, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, neurolinguistic programming, and coupled in with my intuitive abilities. So, and I help more or less in a nutshell, help people to create awareness, release, healing, and revolutionary change within whatever area of their life they're experiencing trauma, they're experiencing stuckness, whatever it is they're feeling. I guess you could say I'm kind of your unconscious mind girl, and help to, you know, get to the root of those problems. So, and that's me.
Awesome. And for
Here.
those who do not know who I am, my name is Laura Canal, and I'm the founder of Miles and Smiles Alternative Solutions. I do reflexology, energy healing, yes, Reiki, aqua lead. I'm master healer out of Lilydale. I also do tuning forks, crystal healing, numerology, and astrology. So in a nutshell, I do all these things to bring it together so that people can really be actually dive deep within their inner being and get to basically the root of the problem within your physical body. Because when I'm doing like reflexology, um, all the parts of the hand and the foot are parts of the body, and it really helps to compress and get in there to really, intuitively and psychically. The foot was always my first divination tool. So this is how I can tap in. I will ask you questions and then get to that, root, so to speak, because your feet are in your root chakra.
That's right.
Yeah,
Love
funny.
it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So yes. So
Perfect. Yeah. So for those of you that are new to, to our channels and new to numerology, Laura and I have been in the space for years. I actually was introduced to it. I met Laura at another event hosted by a mutual colleague of ours, and it was interesting when she was talking about numerology. And well, actually, we connected on Facebook, and then I noticed that Laura was hosting an event. And and then when I started looking into numerology, it really resonated. So after taking Laura's few workshops, invested in a few of her workshops, and then got myself and then certified through Tenny Gabrielle, which is where we both certified ourselves. And the rest is history.
yeah.
We both have been around numbers. I mean, I wouldn't say I intuited numbers when I was young, but numbers have always been very attracted to me. And that's where my guides have always spoken to me, by showing me signs in numbers. But for many, many years, up into my adult age, really resisted numbers. So if you are a person that actually resonates with that and says, okay, I'm always seeing these numbers and I don't understand what they mean. And then, and if you're like me, that will go into the internet and try to research, there's so many different perspectives, so many different systems. You have your angel numbers, which are a little bit different than numerology, but then within numerology, there's different systems within numerology itself. So it's finding what works for you. And in our spaces, there's not really any right or wrong. It's just what resonates with you more, what aligns with you more when you hear of the different interpretations. So yeah, so it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Hmm.
So the subject for tonight is missing numbers. And so most people are probably going, what are you talking about, missing numbers? So some people are not missing any numbers, and I've come across people that aren't. But I personally am missing two numbers, number 2 and number 8. And what number are you missing?
I'm missing the number 8.
You're missing the number 8 as
Eight.
well. And
Yes.
sometimes they say that it doesn't really matter for the number 8, but the other ones do have um uh an idea behind what matters or what the lesson may be. And I'm missing a number 2, and the number 2 is all about being supportive and teamwork and being diplomatic. So it's really funny that all my life I had to go into the hospitality industry in teamwork in order to, for 30 years, in order to learn how to cope with the number 2, how to implement that. Because my day of birth is a number 1, and the number 2 is missing. So I like to be independent with number 1 rather than supportive. And I am now. I'm very supportive. I'm very motivational. I'm very much diplomatic, and I like to help people. I like everybody to work together because it works a lot easier, smarter to work together than working by yourself. So that aspect of it is really important. So anyways, I'm rambling on with the number 2, but I think we're gonna give some examples of how you would get to find out how you're missing this number, the numbers, right?
Mhm.
So, do you have anything to say, Maria, or do you want me to just keep rambling?
Yeah, just keep going. You're not rambling at all.
All
I
right.
love listening to you. I'm always
Oh,
learning, so it's all good. I love listening to
well, most people do listen to me. You can ask anybody that is at my work.
But you want to, but what's interesting, because we've known each other for years, and I have to say the fact that because the two is about the diplomat, but you're very diplomatic. So
I am now.
you are, yes. And as long as I've known you, the years that I've known you, so and again, it's a skill. I guess being diplomatic is a skill set that you had to attain, because for people
Absolutely.
that say that have those numbers, it just innately comes natural to them. So
That's
that's
right.
where the difference between the two. So if you have, say, all the numbers, or you have majority of the numbers, the chances are you're going to flow, and you're going to innately and intuitively and analytically have the what those numbers that you do have, it's going to
Mhm.
be a part of who you are. Whereas the ones that may be missing, like you said, are is an aspect of where you really need to, you may need to attain that skill set,
Sure, sure.
or kind of teach yourself in that way, because
Yeah,
that vibration of that number may be missing. So
that's
that's
right.
a skill. So,
And
and
it's funny because the number 4, I only have 1 in my name. So I'm actually missing almost a whole triad of 2, 4, 8.
348, that's right.
Yeah, it's funny because then I had to also learn how to do things step by step and process things rather than
Mhm.
going from A to B, 0 to 100. I had to find steps to do it, where that was not part of what I do, right? So,
Exactly. And like you were saying, Laura, the 2, 4, and for those that are first time watching this, so 2, 4, 8 is the manifestation triad. So in numerology, there are 3 triads, and that manifestation contains those 2, 4, and 8. And you
mhm,
know what? Because of the way the 2, 4, and 8 are, those are all numbers that you could actually gain the skill sets to be able to
sure.
manifest, right? So yeah, no, that's beautiful.
And you could even with the 157, the mind thought, it could be a skill set as well. Mind
Okay.
thought, right? I think they all can. See, the other one, 369, is more of emotional artistic.
Yes.
That might be a little bit harder, but maybe not. Like we all have emotions. It might just take a longer time to come
Yeah.
into your emotional, you know,
Yeah.
and show the emotions or open your heart to things, right? So,
Yeah. Oh, and that definitely, I think,
yeah.
could be a skill set, because not a lot of people are emotional. Trauma could create a barrier from somebody connecting emotionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
really, and I'm speaking this from my own personal experience, people that live in a space of survival, which survival is a mechanism of, could be a created by trauma, from a past. So
Mm-hmm.
not allowing yourself and disassociating yourself from your emotions and from your own body, from being able to feel, that is a defense mechanism of usually trauma of some sort. So,
That's
you know
right.
what? So that again, I had to learn how to. And I have a lot of 3, 6s, and 9s. I have 3, 6s, and 9s in my codes, but that was something that I had to learn because of my own traumas. So, but
Okay.
now
That
it
makes
flows much
sense.
more naturally. So I found that when you do the self work, um, I've been able to really align with those codes, because the
Mhm.
6s and 9s are really strong codes in my main codes. And the
Right,
threes, I have a lot of threes floating around in all of my soul codes. So
right.
Yeah, so it's
Nice.
interesting. It's just another perspective to kind of look at, because somebody could have all the codes and be aligned, but our own humaning and experiencing this time space could create these barriers from really aligning to our own soul codes. So mhm. That's why I
That's
love
true.
using
Very true.
numerology. And that's why I love using numerology and, working with clients and working in groups and really understanding people, because people could be exhibiting their shadow sides, right? Or they could be missing those numbers,
That's
just like our
right.
topic. So,
That's
hmm
right. That's right. So
beautiful.
to find out how or what numbers you're missing, to find out this, I'm going to share that document that we pulled up. Share. There it is. Share. Should go down. Right. All right. Can you see that okay, Maria?
Yes,
Okay, perfect.
perfect.
Okay, so we're in the document for our workshop for soul codes. I'm just gonna scan a little bit here. This was I'm just looking at a couple of things and then I'll start talking, or you can start. Okay,
It's a destiny.
all right. So the soul codes, I'll just start up here. Birth, day of birth. Okay, so the soul codes, our main soul codes are our day of birth, our life purpose number, and our destiny numbers. And then derived from the destiny number is the soul number. Okay, so I'll show you here. That's how we derived it, right? So the soul number, the life purpose number, no, sorry, on the destiny number, this is, which one is that dividing out? Oh, this is just your destiny number. Okay. So
Yep,
the
that's
example of your soul number gives
right
the
here.
vowels in your name. And that's another code, but it's a lesser code. And then there's your personality number, which are all the consonants in your name. And I think throughout the last year and a bit, since we've had the What is Numerology group, we have put examples of everything in there,
Hmm.
right? So
That's right.
yeah. So, and then when you get those 6 numbers, then also the very important thing to look at I'm going to go back to your destiny number. And is this the destiny number? Yes. Okay. So this is the examples of the destiny number, and it's your birth certificate, the name on your birth certificate. And this is, even if it is spelled wrong, like dad went to the registrar's office and spelled the name wrong, then you need to get the wrong spelling, because there's a reason for everything that happens, right? Energetically. So some people, no, it's wrong, and I don't like this name, and I don't like that name, but this will give us what your destiny number is.
Mhm.
So I don't know, can you see the cursor moving, Maria?
Yep, I
Okay, good.
can.
So in this is the destiny number, and all these numbers in here equate to what numbers you have, and then there's your code on top of it. So Maria, I'm going to let you talk about your code, all 6 numbers, and then we'll be able to explain how come you're missing the number 8.
Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, so more or less when it comes to the codes, um, as you could see here, like in my name, it pretty much has, as you could see, there is no eight. Um, and there's a two, three. So it's just more or less looking at, you know, when I'm doing it, it's looking at all of the soul codes, looking at the digits in here, in the destiny number, or basically your birth certificate name, and seeing and making note of seeing which numbers, root numbers from 1 to 9, are actually included or not included within these numbers. So, like, even just looking at yours, like your name,
Yeah.
Laura.
So
Um,
what is your soul code, Maria?
My soul code is, that's a good one. I barely even use that. I want to say it is on the top of my head.
You know your soul codes.
Yeah, I do. I'm
You're
drawing.
4, you're 6, you're 9.
It's a 7. I know my root is a 7. Just give me a second. So for specifically, my soul is a 3811-2. So my 7 is an essence, and my personality is a 34-7.
Oh, okay. Your personality is a
Yes,
7.
yes.
Your soul is a what?
My soul is a 3811-2.
So it's 11 too.
Mm-hmm.
And your essence number is a 7.
It's a straight 7.
Okay. And then your other numbers are 4.
Yeah, my date of birth is 31-4. And then life path is my life path is 33-6, so master number 33-6, and then 72-9.
So then that means you're missing the number 3 as well.
Number 3 as well. In
Yeah.
terms of 33,
Yeah, you're missing the number 3.
I guess you're right.
So I
That's right.
understand what you're saying about your 3,
Yes.
because
Yes.
but if you're looking at root numbers to this, you're
Yes.
missing the number 3. You don't have a 3
That
in
is
here.
right.
So
That's
you
right.
have a 2 here, plus you have a 2 as one of your personality number. You have a couple 7s. You have the 4s. You have a 4 here, and you have a 4. You have a few 6s, and your life purpose number is a 6, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Your destiny number is a 9. You got lots of 9s in here. So you're missing the number 3 and your
As a root. Yes. As the root. Yes.
so that's so it is the root number. So even if somebody has the number 22 and it gets broken down to a 4, you would still look at that as missing, I think, anyways.
Ah,
So do
interesting.
you think, and you were saying that you had to learn the emotional part.
Yes. That's
Although
right.
you had the number 6 there
Mm,
and 33-6 as a master number, you still had to learn it, because I believe that master numbers are there to it's like a what's the word? A lesson.
that's right.
Because they're tests and trials and lessons, all the master numbers. And then
Mm,
once you get, past that, then so that's why you had to learn the emotional stuff.
aspect. That's right.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
encompassed in the 3.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Interesting.
I've got a lot of 3s in mine. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. That is
Isn't
really
it
cool.
interesting?
Yes.
So, for me, my numbers are day of birth 1. My life path number is 27-9. My destiny number is a 14-5. And so my lesser numbers, my soul number is a 7, my personality number is a 7, and my essence number is a 7. Essence number is when you add up your day of birth plus your month. And
Mm,
I'm born June 1st, so June is the 6th month, and the 1st. So 6 plus 1 is 7.
That's
And
right.
Maria is born December 31st. So December is 1 plus 2, 3. And 3 plus 1, which is 4. So 3 plus 4 is 7.
Mm.
Yeah, I do a lot of adding stuff, mental math and the whole 9 yards. I always have. I love
Yeah.
numbers. Always
Uh,
love numbers. Yeah, so I am missing a 2 and an 8. I have ones, I have one as the day of birth. I have threes in here, but I don't have any in my codes. I have sevens in my code and 1 7 here. Fives, and my destiny number is a 5. Um, but I only have 1 4 in all of it. So that's why I had to learn the process. You have your day of birth as a 4, so that would give you a little more um of that skill set of the processing things, right? And
Processing and
organizing things.
manifesting.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
really good at that. Yeah, funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're really good at that. Like
Most of my professions have been in that space, methodical
processing things.
processes. Yeah. Yeah.
I was always the doer. I can get, I need to get something done, then I go get it done, right? Like I
That's
don't
the one. That's because of
procrastinate.
the one. That's because of the one.
Yeah, but
Yes,
always,
that's
yeah, the doer. And yeah, and I can change and groove and move with whatever needs to be done with my number 5. Oh, yeah. But the one, yeah, it's straight and narrow.
yeah. Uh,
Yep.
also very
I'll get
intuitive.
it done. It was funny. It's like I think we've mentioned last time I got a job as well as my business just to help out financially. And then with this job that I have, um, and I am a leader in my life, but I'm in a job set that is not a leadership role. It's just a job. I just want to make extra cash. I want to just do this. And so I was talking to my manager last week and I was telling him I wrote this article about, unmasking the leader within, and I've got it on my blog, and I go, and I know that I'm not the leader here. He goes, who says? You could be the leader wherever you want to be the leader. If you see something that needs to be done, then you can say it. You could say it to your supervisor, you could say it to whoever you need to say it to.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Because I have the number 1 as a leadership number and number 9 as a leadership number.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I can't help
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. And there you go. It's innate within you. It's definitely innate within you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if I see something that needs to be done, or see in my own household, I will say what needs to be done to my children. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to work now. Can you clean out the dishwasher? Sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Beautiful.
yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I wish my kids were more compliant like that.
You just have to step it up with your leadership, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I say it to my kids. I do not expect my kids to um, think about it on their own because they
Uh,
live with their mom, right? Even though they're in their 30s, they will not think about it because this is mom's house.
uh,
So I said, why don't you guys just go do it? My daughter will now. My son, he's just a boy.
yeah.
Well, if you
That's
want me to do something, just ask me to do it.
right.
Okay. That's how we were gonna play this game? Great.
Beautiful.
As long as I know the rules.
Yeah. So that's great. It's
Yeah.
so yeah, so going back to our topic,
Yep.
um, yeah, so exactly. So it's interesting because um now knowing that I'm missing the 3, which this is news to me. And I
Yeah.
don't know, it was because it's been years since I've taken the course, and I lately I've been thinking to myself, I should do a refresher and go through all of my
Yeah.
the course, and there's even a course a pre-bonus that I got that I haven't even done yet. That's how busy it is that I've had for
Oh.
years this other bonus course that when I did the certification. But that's interesting because I have a lot of threes. They're just
Hmm.
not root numbers. They're just not a
That's
root.
right.
So that was interesting because um and I should go back and take a look at my 10 Gabrielle because I could have sworn that she even did when she did as part of the course,
Yeah.
she did a whole chart where she said the missing numbers. And I could have sworn, but I'm gonna have to go and track that down
Yeah.
and take a look at that. So
So
but it makes sense.
she also looks at, so when you're doing it as an astronumerology, um, um, no, she doesn't use the astrology piece for the missing number.
Numbers, I don't know. See,
I
and that's
don't think
yeah.
so.
You don't think so? So that's where it was interesting because it makes sense because like I
Mm.
said, the number three, I have a lot of threes within my soul codes. If you look at
Yeah.
them, there's a
Yeah.
lot of them. However, but it makes sense because for many, many years, missing that three, um, which is, is really it's all about embracing that emotion. It's about the
Right.
creativity. It's all
Right.
about joy. It's all about connecting,
Mhm.
internally. And it's also about, I think that the creative aspect of that, I've always been aligned with. But in terms of embracing the emotion aspect, and embracing that joy and, the other qualities were something
Yeah.
that I had to learn, was something that I've had to learn. So, um,
Yeah. That's
whereas
it.
with the eight, that in itself, so with the eight is representative of, yes, it's the money frequency,
Mhm.
but it's also about infinite energy and flow, that infinite energy and having that infinite energy. So that's actually something, flow and understanding that we're all energy and how it has to flow is
Mhm.
actually another skill set that I've had to learn. And in terms of the money frequency, um, you know, I've always kind of been, I wouldn't say struggled, but I've always, it's always had the ups and downs,
Right.
in my life from when I, was young and supporting myself and living on my own. But I've understanding that I've been able to work with that eight and manifest in different ways, and when you know that and you're able to have that understanding of not only the code but also yourself,
Mhm.
there was different ways that um, to create that eight manifestation, in other capacities, which is something that I've been able to a skill set that I've learned and
Right.
am, building upon. And that's the key thing, right? It's building upon and knowing, and having that understanding of what it is
Mm.
that's missing. So you could consciously create and gain that skill set.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
think I'm a lot more tactful now than when I was younger.
Mhm.
Because of in astrology, I'm just gonna stop share this now. I think we got the example. Um, in astrology, I'm an Aries ascending, so I can be very straightforward and to the
Yep.
point and very not tactful at all. Not diplomatic at all. Like I'll blurt it out sort of thing, but I'm very tactful and very diplomatic now, more so than I was before. So, yeah.
Interesting.
So
That's
we
wonderful.
kind of covered the number two, the number three, and the number four, kind of like that. If you're missing the number four, the methodical, step-by-step processing
Yes.
or organizing, um, that's kind of what happens. Missing the number one. If you are missing the number one, um, this is number one is very independent. And if you're missing the number one, I think you need to build on that leadership, independence skill and be able to stand alone. That is what I believe for the missing number one.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yep.
Anything else? Maybe there's a self-confident piece to it as well. You don't
Mhm.
have the same self-confidence as
Yeah.
you would if you're, very independent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the one is also a very highly intuitive number. So I think it's also
Mm.
um, a lot of people that have the one code could become very analytical and very conscious, conscious creators. So I feel that maybe having that um, not having that number, you know, is also a key of, because it's a very intuitive number, they would have to build that skill set and really trusting themselves and listening to their intuition, because that could also be another area that could be hindered within their lives, right?
Right.
Hmm.
And do you think they could also go to the extreme of the number one and be full of themselves, like very egotic?
Mm,
Like the ego could really, really be part of that
mm,
until they understand the whole of the intuition and the
yes.
what a leader really is
Yes.
instead of being a bully. You can be something else in that leader role. You can come up with other things to say instead of something mean, right? Like
Hmm.
I
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see that. Um, I could definitely see that being a possibility, 100%, in terms of, yeah, that exhibiting the shadow sides of, yeah, of those
And I
numbers.
think, like, I mean, I have a number one, and yeah, and I did show the shadow sides of it.
Mm,
So I'm thinking that even if you're missing it, you could show shadow sides
that's right.
because you haven't embraced that number
That's
or
right.
embraced that energy of that number.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. So that's great. So the one, and we did the two.
we
Yes.
did the two.
Two,
That was
three,
my
4, 5.
teamwork and
That's right.
diplomatics.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
three, number four,
We've
number
done that.
five,
5.
missing the number five.
Yeah, that's it. Well, see, to me, I would say, because the 5 is the epitome of like freedom. It's all about taking risks. It's all about movement, and it's about change. So somebody that might be missing the number 5 might be the latter, might be exhibiting more rigid and not um, embracing change, have a hard time embracing change, right?
Right,
Because 5 is also about change and embracing that. And
exactly.
and taking calculated, like being a risk taker, but calculated risk. So somebody that might not have that number might be a bit more regimented, more restrictive, may not want to take risks. They may be a person that exhibits, they like being in their comfort zone, and not want to, um, evolve, I would
Right.
say, in that sense, because, yeah.
And I do believe, here's a thought. I do believe that number five is very, because I have the five within me. I have 14 5, and we're
Mhm.
very much out there. We're very much wanted to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to speak. I mean, the number three is about speaking,
They should.
but it's that business number as well. And I even think is that part of networking, or is it? Yeah, maybe not. Anyways, so if you're missing the number five, maybe you're kind of in your shell.
Yeah.
Because I look at if you're not embracing your number 5, then that's a shadow of, going into yourself and not being out there. And yeah, I think it's kind of dramatic. The number 5, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's all about freedom. A
Yeah.
five can't be tied down. They just constantly need that freedom, right? And they are it's a communication number, like you said. That would be another thing. So the communication piece, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because when I was in school for medical records, and it's an office job, and then I didn't go, like things were leading me into a different path, and then I went in hospitality for 30 years, right? So they say 5s can't be tied down, as you said. They can't do an office, they can't do 9 to 5. I don't
Mhm.
even know what I was thinking of, but I didn't know my numerology numbers at the time. So number 5 is not going to sit there in an office all day. They're going to run around and be a server. They're going to be dramatic. They're going to be an actor. They're going to be something that's more. There's more.
Mm.
Like, yeah, they don't like being tied to a routine.
Uh-huh.
Not at all.
Interesting. That's a good one.
Hmm. So missing the number 6.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
a good one. Because the 6 is all about, um, it's about responsibility. It's the number of nurturing. It's the cosmic parent. It is all about, it's like that heart centered, and it's about that compassion and love. Just like a
Mhm.
parent, like a pregnant, it looks like a pregnant mother,
Right.
the nurturer. It's also about servicing and responsibility. It's about the home, right?
And it's
So,
family too.
yeah,
So
a home, family, that's right. So,
what
missing,
if they have relationship problems if they're
yeah,
missing it?
yeah. Because if you think about it, yeah, it's all about being the parent. It's like the parent, it's taking care of, you taking
Right.
care of people, responsibilities and yeah,
Mhm.
it's service. It's also a, service in a heart space. So 100%. So the person,
Yeah.
so missing the number 6 could possibly have, and not just, it's all types of relationships. So it doesn't have to be narrowed to specific to family or intimacy. It could be even relationship with your own self, you know?
Mhm.
So 100%, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
that's so interesting.
Mm.
Yeah. So the number 7, missing the number 7. The number 7 is tied to a lot of things as well
Mm,
as spirituality.
that's right.
So if you're missing the number 7, it could say a lot about, research or not being grounded or not
Mm,
being intuitive, but it could also be about your spirituality or not being spiritual or
yeah,
religious.
that's right. Hmm. That's right.
Hmm.
So people that aren't spiritual and are not, say, religious, they may be missing that number, and that's because in my eyes, 7 is probably one of the most spiritual numbers there are out of the 9 root numbers. It's a
Oh, for
very,
sure. For sure.
um, you know, so Um, it's also a number of nature, and like you said, it's also the researcher, you know,
Mhm.
grounded, enlightening insights, hmm
Right.
which tags along with the spirituality and intuitiveness because it is a very, um, mhm,
So what about and also I believe that it's about the experience of faith and trust, because faith and trust are part under this umbrella of the number 7.
yeah,
Faith, spirituality, religion, so having the faith in the higher power, whatever that higher power is, the God of your understanding, whether it's the universe or spirituality or God, Allah, the different the different ethnic gods, goddesses that are out there as well.
Mm,
Yeah, could be just you don't have the faith. It's not
okay.
there.
It's not there. That's right. Yeah, makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Perfect. So
Mhm.
we kind of touched upon the eight. I don't know if there's anything
Yeah.
you want to add, or we could go right to nine. I think
Yeah,
it's
no, I think that we touched on the number eight, talking about money, talking about energy, talking about the whole scope of that.
yeah.
So, yeah. Number nine, missing the number nine. Also,
Hmm.
also a leadership number.
Yeah. Hmm.
So what I think about number nine is that compassion, that compassionate, connection to your heart, humanitarian, environmentally, like the whole gamut of connection. Um, so compassion, you'd been missing compassion. You'd
Hmm.
be missing the tolerance and the understanding of things. Um,
Also the group consciousness. So
mm,
having that understanding that we are all in this together, we are all one, and understanding that could be something that may be missing within that,
right.
having that understanding, that alignment. Hmm.
That's right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Hmm.
Anything
Yeah, and
else?
it's also like you said, it's also it's a leadership number, so it could be another similar to the one, but different. That they could be missing out on that leadership aspect of who they are, because it
Yeah.
is a, and because nine is also a completion number, it's also about closing and completion.
Mhm.
So is it possible that maybe somebody who's missing a nine would exhibit a lot of like continuation of bringing things from their past, and it's always part of who they are
Oh,
moving
yeah, yeah,
forward, right? Because
right.
the nine is about that completion and moving into that next chapter.
Mhm.
They could be creating and repeating things, things that are not serving them, and bringing that into their lives continuously.
Yeah, so they
Okay.
might be missing the number
Nice.
nine.
Hmm. That just
They
came to me
may
because I'm
not,
like,
yeah, that makes a lot of
yeah.
sense. Like they might
Hmm.
be missing doing, that the lessons. So the lesson is
Yeah.
complete. You keep going over it. It's like a cycle.
Keep going. It's like they're
You don't get
bringing
it. You don't
in,
get the lesson. You don't understand the lesson.
so it's continuously repeating patterns of behaviors or repeating events, which is still, when you repeat events, you're repeating certain behaviors because you're not gaining the lessons from that. So it's not coming to an end.
That's right.
So,
Hmm.
hmm, yeah,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. Yeah.
hmm, interesting.
There's always so much to any interpretation of numbers or any interpretation of any of the numbers in numerology, right? So
100%.
yeah, that was that's great. That was fun.
Yeah, so it's great.
I hope everybody
Oh,
enjoys this if you're
yeah.
watching the replay. It's a lot of fun, to do these. Like we just do these discussions once a month, and yeah. So
Hmm. That's wonderful. And thank you to Scott for joining us today. And do you have any questions?
now he's back
Uh,
to doing stuff. He said, yeah.
no worries. Oh, good.
Yeah, no worries.
But if anyone who's watching this has any questions or would like further information, you know what? Join our What is Numerology Facebook community. It is a private community, but by all means, if you're interested in learning more, join the group, and we'll be happy to to accept you into the group. And then there's a ton of information there, and yeah. So
Yeah, and
other
I always put the link to
than
that as well. on the YouTube
Mhm.
the YouTube channel. I always put the link to our what is numerology Facebook group. So yeah, that's
Perfect. Yes. So, but other than that, oh, so we should probably announce what we decided. So we're actually for the summer, we're going to be taking the next 2 months off, and we're going to resume our monthly what is numerology event September the 8th, correct?
yes.
That's
That's yeah, that was September when we had booked.
yes.
So,
So
mhm.
yeah, I mean, well, with Laura, boy, she's been crazy busy, with everything going on. And I think it's just, I'm going through a whole logistical rebrand, reshifting. Oh my goodness. Learning a lot about back end amalgamating and all this technical stuff, which is, anyways, it's not my forte, but I'm learning. So I have to say that that's the positive. So needless to say, by September, hopefully everything will be back to normal. And yeah, so
There you
things
go.
yeah. So other than that, thank you everybody for joining us, and and thank you for those of you that watch this. And again, post questions. We welcome any questions, post within our group, and comments. If you see value, subscribe to our channels, subscribe to Laura and my channel. And because we're posting things continuously on that platform.
Mhm.
And yeah, and it's just another means of connecting with us. So,
That's it.
other than that, thank you. Thank you. And it was a pleasure as usual, Laura,
Yeah, always
to
fun.
share this space with you. And yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll see everybody in September.
Have a great summer. And yeah, we'll be back in September with more wonderful subjects to talk about in numerology.
Excellent. Love it. Sounds wonderful. See you, everybody. Love you all.
Bye for now.
Bye.